The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 years, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists. Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister.
Hey, Thomas.
Victoria Jones from Satoshi's Page.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue one. But first, the price of Bitcoin is up. Actually down today, 3.23% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 77,514, a high of 81,500, and a low of 76,857. That's $1 for 1,290 Satoshis. Issue 1, Billionaire projects Bitcoin could beat gold and hit $1 million a coin. That's right, Changpeng Zhao, the billionaire founder of Binance Crypto Exchange, is extremely bullish on Bitcoin's future. He said in an interview on August 26th that Bitcoin will, for sure, become more important than gold, and that the next bull market could be the moment that gap closes. I think Bitcoin will overtake gold pretty soon. There's only like a 10x difference now, Zhao said. Adam Meister, what do you think about the price of Bitcoin? It's up a little bit. We might have bottomed out of the bear market. And now CZ says we're going to $1 million a coin.
Dude, why is CZ talking like some newbie that wants to get clicks? I mean, I think he's an okay dude and everything, but like he's just repeating stuff we keep hearing every year. It does, like, let's get back to 100,000 and then one day get to 200,000. Like, I'm not one of those Bitcoin $1 million guys. And, you know, after hearing it for 13 straight years, I just don't even, I kind of laugh at the entire thing. The price, though, it is, we're getting close to the end of a bear market, and it probably will be, the market cap will be larger than gold one day. Yeah. That actually happens before it hits $1 million also. So that's another thing. But yeah, we're getting out of the bear market. The 4-year cycle was due to end probably by the middle of October at the latest, probably in September. God willing, it already ended, maybe. But Kevin Morsch made some announcement today in Wyoming. And so the price went down a little bit after going up some. So that's my thought. I mean, how many more $1 million Bitcoin predictions are we going to live? That's part of being in this space. We got to go through the $1 million Bitcoin predictions every year. So, okay, who's the guy to do it next year? I'm surprised it was him who did it. So those are my thoughts on $1 million Bitcoin.
Well, it's always the worst when you're selling money to make rent and you think to yourself, this is $1 million, this is $1 million, and then you just have to pay the rent anyway. You're right, Adam, it's certainly not the first $1 million Bitcoin prediction. Mad Bitcoins has, of course, predicted infinity dollars a coin. And Hal Finney, who passed away on this day, predicted in January 2009 that Bitcoin could hit $10 million a coin if it became the dominant payment system on Earth. And that was just simple back of the envelope calculations by Hal. But it's been repeated by everybody ever since. Victoria Jones, what do you think? CZ says $1 million a coin.
Well, I think a lot depends on whether or not he's referring to the value of Bitcoin going up or whether or not it's the value of dollars going down. Because I think, oh, can you hear me? Yeah. Or the value of dollars going down, because you know, obviously inflation's getting more and more out of control. The US has just passed $40 trillion in debt. When I started talking about Bitcoin, I think it was $21 trillion in debt. I remember having some animation of that kind of number. So, you know, if the debt keeps going at that sort of level and the US government is running out of options in order to, you know, try and keep a lid on it and keep the narrative, he may well be right, but not for the not for the reasons that we think. There's no point having $1 million Bitcoin if it costs $100,000 to buy a loaf of bread, or any other currency around the world for that matter. So yeah.
See, that's that same old economist trick. They're like, yeah, you can have your $1 million Bitcoin and it'll buy you $20 worth of food, and all of that, and all the Big Mac index and so forth. We really need to work on our real numbers, not just big numbers. But still, shout out to CZ, not in prison, being called a billionaire now. I saw his book for sale in Oxfam in the UK. They still wanted $16 for it, so it's a pretty hot book. And I couldn't pay that at the thrift shop. Also looked thick and heavy. But let's move on to the exit question here. Adam Meister predicting against the magical Bitcoin predictor ball, the source of all truth in this and all known universes. Will the price of Bitcoin be higher or lower this time next week?
Slightly higher.
Victoria Jones, Adam says slightly higher. What do you say?
Oh, it's a tricky one because Bitcoin's done well lately, but it could have hit a point of resistance. And of course, Kevin Walsh's comments, as Adam mentioned last night, hasn't really helped. So it could push it down a bit by the end of next week. We'll see.
I'm sticking with what I said last week. I'm a bull and I'm bullish. So we're sticking to that. Now we ask the ball, will the price of Bitcoin be higher this time next week? Of course, it's very dark, hard to see the ball. You may rely on it. Floated right to the top. No question about it. You may rely on it. The ball is bullish. Moving on to issue 2. Bitcoin's ECX fork is coming. When it hits and who gets free coins? Well, that's one way to look at it. Bitcoin holders are lined up to receive a matching balance of a new asset called Ecash, ECX. When the project kicks off its three-stage hard fork rollout with an alpha launch around Bitcoin block height 963,648. The fork is launched by Paul Sztorc, Truthcoin. It mainly seems to be about getting the Satoshi coins. The group takes half the Satoshi coins and will create drive chains. Sztorc has tried to get drive chains attached to normal Bitcoin so he can do multiple side chain, 6 or 7 side chains already with this group. Adam Meister, what do you think about the potential for a Bitcoin hard fork?
Oh, baby. Crypto dividends are back again. It's like 2017, baby. Pound that like button. You can tell that I got real excited right there, screaming now already. This is better than $1 million Bitcoin predictions, okay? Wait, this is a definite. We're getting free coins. We're getting free coins again. This is great. Yeah, he wants to. It's unlike the cult of Bit 110, unlike those maniacs, absolute maniacs. He's not lying. He's not hiding anything. He tried to do it the traditional way to get drive chains on Bitcoin. He failed. He admitted he failed. He thinks that drive chains are freaking awesome. So he's going to do a hard fork. He's not going to try to trick you and say, this is the real Bitcoin. That's the real Bitcoin. This is it. Pedo coin, all this nonsense, no guilt, no cult. He's just making his own, and we're all getting it for free. I think others will be inspired again to do so. Of course, the Bit 110 people are forking off too, which was predictable. But they're lying and saying that they're the real Bitcoin, and they go into the conspiracy theory. I mean, these maniacs. Does Paul mention Epstein? Does Paul blame? No. Sztorc is a very honest man. You should get him on this darn show. I respect that dude. He's been around a long time. He didn't go crazy. He didn't wear a gas mask to the Miami Bitcoin conference in 2022 or whatever, when I saw, when Thomas and I saw a maniac wearing a gas mask there. A maniac wearing a gas mask there who somehow lost all his Bitcoin somehow, even though he's a genius or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, but that guy too, those Bit 110 people, those maniacs, absolute maniacs. And yeah, I realize I'm screaming now and my hair is crazy and I'm the one who looks like a maniac. Okay, but I'm not talking about Epstein. I mean, this stuff they get in. No, I'll take his free coin too. And he can call it Bitcoin. He can call it whatever he wants to. So you mentioned the thing that the maniacs, the Bitcoin, and we'll get into this when we talk about Saylor. There are these Bitcoin inquisitionists out there. It has to be so darn pure that they all go crazy. What they don't like about Paul's fork, and he's not making Bitcoin, right? He's making his own coin, that they're using some of the Satoshi coins. Who cares? Who cares? Is Satoshi God? Is Satoshi God? Some of you are going to say, yes, you maniacs, you absolute maniacs. This is a completely different coin. Who cares what he does with? They're not Satoshi's coin. Satoshi is deceased. Sorry, BSV maniacs. Satoshi. I mean, cool. These end of the world doomsday guys. They always make an excuse why they fail. Oh, he's really Satoshi. I mean, it goes on and on. It will not. So the bit 110 people, they will continue to go on and on and on why they failed. The excuse after excuse. Paul is just making his own coin. We're getting it for free. Let's be very careful when we try to claim our coins. As we all remember, 2017, when there were all these friendly forks like B Gold and B Diamond. There are a bunch of scams too that you would enter your private key into and they'd steal all your Bitcoin. You don't want to do that, okay? So I'm really happy that, instead of, throwing a fit like a little baby or creating a cult, that Paul he feels confident that drive chains are awesome. And so he's going to let all Bitcoin holders get a chance to play with them by hard forking off. So bravo. That's all I got to say about that, baby.
Yeah, but still, why not just create his own coin? It seems like it's his own coin and everything except that they're taking the Bitcoin ledger as a starting point. So it's really like spam. Like they're spamming the Bitcoin network with a bunch of free coins, which I agree, Adam, agree it's nice, right? I remember last time I got a laptop. That was cool. But other than that, how is it really attached to Bitcoin? What does it really have to do with Bitcoin? Which does bring up Adam's point, why they can have the Satoshi coins. Why not have them all? You're making a brand new ledger. Why not take all of my coins or all of your coins or all of Freddie coins? I mean, they can take arbitrarily whatever coins they want on their new coin network. I do actually kind of respect them not calling it Bitcoin. It's not called like electronic cash Bitcoin or something. They're not going for the name. I like a lot of that. I agree with what Adam said. He wanted drive chains on Bitcoin, like Vitalik wanted smart contracts on Bitcoin, but now we have Ethereum. Maybe we'll have this new electronic cash Ecash coin. Victoria Jones, what do you think about the potential fork of Paul Sztorc?
Well, I'm not software development sophisticated enough in order to, even know what a drive chain is. But it sounds very interesting. And of course, it's not the first time that there's been a fork on Bitcoin that's made a new coin. I mean, Litecoin was originally a Bitcoin fork, wasn't it? And Dark Bitcoin, and they had every single flavor, I think, in the early days. So yeah, I think it's very reminiscent of 2017. It's like you need a big controversy in Bitcoin, and even though this time the node runners haven't got what they wanted, it felt very reminiscent of 2017. Obviously, the outcome this time was different. The miners won this one. So, and I think, all of these forks just seem to kind of help celebrate the fact that, there's been a big diversion in the rules and people wanting something different. And it's like all the different coins come out the woodwork. So, we'll have to see what else crops up in the near future. I'm sure there'll be more.
Go ahead, Adam. More on this. Go ahead.
Yeah. You asked why can't he just create his own coin out of the blue? I mean, it's distribution. No one's gonna know about it that way. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna give it away for free? It is the best way of distribution. I've said that forever. That this is just the awesomest way to distribute things on Bitcoin. It's easier to do it on Ethereum and all that stuff, but this is the best way to do it. And I remember. Let's not try to confuse this. He's not at war with anyone here, because Victoria she mentioned bit 110. Yeah, that was controversy. This isn't controversy. This is just a dude that's like, I'm not going to win by attempting to do what bit one. I'm not wasting my time with something like bit 110. He already had bips, bit 300, 301. They failed. He's not going to try to relitigate it or anything like that. And this is the next best thing, and it is a very good distribution method. And indeed, Thomas, yeah, he could steal anybody's coins. Some maniac steal. Excuse me, I shouldn't say. He could. They're not. People were like, well, what? Take Saylor's coins. Take Saylor's coins. I mean, yes, he can do whatever he wants to, and we're just it's just a gift to the rest of us. So if that many, but by doing what he did with the coins that would have went to deceased Satoshi, yeah, he's got to deal with whatever the consequences of that are. I don't think the consequences are very bad. It's just it's more people. I mean, it's a good marketing ploy. That's what most people talk about. I mean, Thomas, that was one of the first things you brought up about it was the Satoshi coins. When it's Satoshi, they had so little to do with like what it means for Adam Meister, what it means for Thomas Hunt, what it means for Victoria Jones. All it means for us is that we're getting free coins, and Satoshi isn't. But who cares that Satoshi isn't? He's deceased. And yes, BSV people, he's deceased.
It is very interesting, though, Adam. They could have just added, I don't know, negative 200 coins to the beginning of the stack, said there are now 200,000 more coins than there used to be. I mean, there's different ways of doing this, but they took the existing coins. Like they're saying in the chat, you could also take the MicroStrategy Michael Saylor coins. You could try to figure out the Coinbase cold storage. You could take any large amount of coins. You could just say, hey, nobody over 100 coins or whatever it is, and you could arbitrarily take all those. It's his fork of Bitcoin. It's his copy of the code. Victoria mentioned Litecoin. I think Litecoin might have been a fork of the Bitcoin code, but they changed the engine to script. They didn't take the existing Bitcoin user base, so you didn't get any free Litecoin. And that was one way of doing it. I think Dogecoin was a similar clone. Then they changed some of the issuance numbers, pumped it way up so you could have, thousands of Doge, and it would be more fun that way. They were working with the issuance. But the cool thing now is that you copy the Bitcoin mailing list and you essentially drop your coin onto all of these Bitcoiners. And if this is successful, we could see, like we had, like Adam said, in a few years ago, a whole bunch more of this, be gold, be diamond, be platinum, all these things. And each one, in the Bitcoin Cash, you made some pretty good money on. The rest of them, I'm not sure if they were worth the trouble. I know some people, Jimmy Song was offering like professional services. He would help you access your coins in a safe manner. And it was kind of unsafe, and it was a little privacy exposing. All these people had all their cold storage coins, and they brought them all back in to get the Bcash. I remember one guy was taking all of those poker coins that used to have, a little bit of money on each poker chip, and he was going to cash all those in, get all the Bcash off of those poker chips. So it was a bit of a mania at the time, and we'll see if that happens. They're saying in the chat that Richard Hart forked ETH, and he tried to identify the whales and remove their coins during the fork block. That's funny. That seems like something he would do. And it is kind of nice, though, like Adam's saying, though, if you want to do marketing, like, you don't really need to market to the rich guy. They don't really care if you give them some free Ecash. If you give it to your average guy, they're going to buy a laptop, or they're going to get, dinner at Olive Garden or something. But it's interesting. And then as for the drive chains, if we really look at this on the long scale, like we do with Ethereum, even all this runaround, even if they're mildly successful, I think it comes back to Bitcoin in the end. I think this is one of those things where Drive Chain Coin runs for a long time and people think it's really cool. And then Bitcoin slowly copies all of its features and everyone moves back over, and everyone who had Drive Chain Coin gets all upset, but there's nothing they could do. Adam Meister, what do you think is the outcome of this? Obviously, it can't end up like the Bit 110 fork. It's going to be a lot more exciting than that. They have also, it seems like, a much more reasonable plan where they're going to run the software in public and test it and then operate it later.
Yeah, we should. I should say, and you should get Paul on the show. Seriously, it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, he absolutely realizes your scenario could happen, where if Bitcoin adopts everything that he wants, he will feel victorious, and this coin will not be worth very much at all. So I predict that, and they are right now. You can get your practice version of it by downloading his wallet and doing. There's going to be practice versions, and then October 31st comes the real version. So I mean, I'm not their marketer, so I'm not going to explain all that stuff. But the way I think it's going to end up is that one could be worth as much as it's probably going to be between 1% of a Bitcoin and 0.1% of a Bitcoin, which isn't very much. But who knows? With the Colt coin, with Bit 110. Those guys are so crazy that I predict logically it would be, because and more people know about it, that it'd be between 0.2% and 2%, but it could get higher if they go full drink the Kool-Aid Jonestown 1979 cult. I mean, like where they kill them. I mean, where they kill their stack, basically. If they go full Guyana, okay, never go full Guyana, okay, never go full Jonestown, never do that. But those guys in Bit 110, they seriously might. And then, oh my God, I mean, I feel bad if they lost all their money, but if I start getting 5% on my Bit 110 coin, oh my God, or 10%, I mean, Baruch Hashem, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to dream. Unbelievable dream, but I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. And so, yeah, that one probably will only be between 0.2 and 2%. But if they go full Jonestown, whoa, we're in for quite a ride. And some of those guys literally are crazy. Look like the Matt Crater. I don't know his name. I don't know who this dude is. He seemed like he was like trying to be professional in the old days, and it's all conspiracies now. All it is how Saylor is linked to Epstein, this and that it was all a plot with this plot, and people are buying it. They love it. There are so many losers in our space, and I've always said there's so many maniacs in our space. People who have lost touch with reality. Most people, these two subjects we just talked about, Bit 110 and Ecash, they will never know it existed at all. Most Bitcoin holders will never know this even happened at all. Just put that in perspective about how many people care about all this stuff so much. All right.
Well, and that is what's so funny. We think that it's such good marketing and it's so easy. You could just claim your fork coins. But if it's only 2%, if it's only 0.2%, is it worth moving all your coins? Is it worth effing up all your cold storage? Is it worth, talking to your computer person, blah, 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 to get this 2%? I think it's a lot harder of a sell than it seems right away. And it's a lot harder than it used to be to get the market cap of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was like $1,000 a coin, if you come out at $100 a coin, you're incredible, right? But if Bitcoin is $50,000, $80,000 a coin, you come out at $100 a coin, you're terrible, right? You're not even close. So we'll see how that happens. Victoria Jones, what do you think will happen in the future with Truthcoin?
The track record isn't terribly good, is it really? So I don't know. I mean, I need someone to explain to me what a drive chain is, because I have no idea. What does it actually do? Why is it so good?
It seems to be basically just a way to run side chains. And they have about 6 or 7 different side chains ready to go. They have like a prediction market side chain. They have a interest coin side chain. They had a voting side chain. So they have a series of side chains. And basically he's been trying to attach it unsuccessfully to Bitcoin. So he's making his own thing. What do you think, Victoria? Makes sense?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I think there's a lot that's happened over the last year that's really challenged my ideas about Bitcoin. So, I don't know enough about this side of the technology to make any predictions. So I'm just going to watch with interest, see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know that it really solves privacy. I think one of the side chains might be a privacy side chain. I'm not sure, but I feel like the privacy issue, the sending Bitcoin anonymously and all of that, that might be worth a hard fork. That might get people to jump off. But even then, I just don't see people abandoning the main chain, getting them to really change chains. We had that one fight, the blockchain war. I don't think we're going to have another of that size. Here, let's keep it going. Check out the next issue. Check out worldcryptonetwork.com. We've got 5,000 videos and a lot of shorts at worldcryptonetwork.com. You can check them out for free. World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue 3. Michael Saylor calls for a Bitcoin reformation beyond orthodoxy. Michael Saylor is calling for Bitcoin to move beyond founder worship, mandatory self-custody, and hostility towards institutions. Where's my laugh button? Crickets. No. Anyway, he wants the asset to operate across banks, corporations, securities, governments, and machines. Here it is again. He's new to Bitcoin, and he's here to tell you what you can do with it. Victoria Jones, what do you think of this Michael Saylor guy Never heard of him before. Seems like we talk about him every week. And his new idea is for a Bitcoin Reformation.
Oh, I think he just gets crazier by the day. I mean, I think he's kind of, really the main thing that Michael Saylor did was he had a lot of money and he put it into Bitcoin. And that was after he'd trashed it already on Twitter. So something happened to change his perspective. It was mainly the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, when they started printing all that cash. He realized that it had to go somewhere, and because he had experience in Argentina, he understood the problems with devaluing currency, and that's really where it began. But because he had so much money, it's given him such a big position. It's almost like he's christened himself king of Bitcoin, and it's really starting to annoy me, I have to say. And all of his attempts to kind of merge it with fiat currency. The original idea of Bitcoin was the Trojan horse of fiat currency. So watching him try and make Bitcoin become everything Bitcoin is supposed to oppose, I find very distasteful. So yeah, I read it and I was just like, oh God. Someone send him somewhere else. I don't want to hear about Michael Saylor anymore.
It really does seem like he's changed it from the Trojan horse of fiat to the engine behind fiat. He seems to say, if you have an honest Bitcoin running underneath all these fiat levels, it will somehow keep the fiat levels honest, because I don't know why. This is like when they take Bitcoin or NFTs or anything and they apply them to the legal system. And they say, you have ownership over this in a legal sense. And I say, no, you don't. The legal system decides that. You have presumably a cryptography key that allows you to send or hold or receive. Those are the main things you control. And what's sad about this Saylor thing is he's so well funded and so well backed that they've taken the political strategy, right? Every crisis is an opportunity. We have a major crisis with the hack of the wallets, right? Cold Card. Cold Card gets hacked. We have a major crisis. What does he do? He steps in with the same ideas he was promoting yesterday. Bitcoin is a digital gold. Paper Bitcoin is okay. And now he's added in a third prong. You don't need to self-custody. He chips away. It's amazing to see him hack away at the legs of the Bitcoin stool. He's like, you don't need to self-custody, which was our whole defense against the banks and their dirty investment vehicles that we didn't know what's going on inside the invisible boxes. He says, oh, you don't need to send it around. It's not a currency, so it doesn't need to flow. It doesn't solve the currency problem. And it's all the same stuff from this guy. It's packed in a new speech with new language, and it's getting more and more religious with the Reformation and his attacks on the supposed God of Satoshi, which again, I don't think anybody's treating Satoshi as God. Very little, if any, of the Bitcoin code is still written by Satoshi. Like, that's pretty disrespectful if, God gave you that code and you edited it and presumably improved it. I agree with Victoria. It's the same story with this guy. And again, he's new to Bitcoin. He's here to fix it. Adam Meister, what do you think? He's running against us. He doesn't want the cold storage. He's shaking his fist. And of course, he says that we aren't welcoming enough. Just like that guy on the stage with old Trump. And he said, oh, the interface is too hard to use.
Well, I got to say, no one is forced to buy his stock. You should only buy the underlying asset. Okay? Now, I like Saylor. I like him. He's better than he's better than maniacs that wear gas masks to Bitcoin conferences and talk about pedo and talk about this, conspiracies. The dude is a billionaire. He didn't luck into that. Okay? He went to MIT. All right? He's a self-made man. He's a very wealthy. He's done some risky things. Right now, a lot of people thought he'd be gone from Bitcoin. They thought this bear market would destroy him. And there were times it looked kind of scary. There were many people that just want to see him fail. We have a problem in the United States of America, in the Western world, where people want billionaires to fail. They hate them. They hate them. Envy, jealousy. This is where it stems from with Saylor. And it appears his MicroStrategy, and I will say it again, only buy the underlying. But guess what? That doesn't stop people from buying his thing. He's not lying to you about what he's doing. He prints a bunch of MicroStrategy or whatever you want to call it, and then you guys buy it. Okay? And so that's on you, dudes. All right? That's on you. by the underlying. I respect for the guy. I think he's everybody's scapegoat here. He came along. Of course, this man should have a lot of say in the direction of Bitcoin, okay? We just learned from Bit 110, it's not just about miners and nodes. It's about the whole aura around it, okay? If you're considered a maniac fringe that no one has ever heard of, you're not going to get your change, okay? But if you're rational, you explain things clearly, and Bitcoin is at its 2017 size or 2016 size, whatever, you can change things. Like people misinterpreted the whole SegWit thing, okay? They thought the nodes were the king. It's a three-way dance, all right? And it's more than that with all the marketing out there. And he absolutely deserves to he paid for his oversized say in Bitcoin. He has spent billions. If someone wants to spend billions of dollars on Bitcoin, I mean, they're going to get some say, okay? Because he owns an incredible amount of Bitcoin. So he'll say, if all these Bit 110 people say this is really Bitcoin, he'll just say, no, this is really Bitcoin. I mean, it's something worse than Bit 110 comes that's even more popular. Of course, a person who has invested billions of dollars into buying Bitcoin, millions, billion, whatever it is, into buying Bitcoin, they're going to have a say in defining the direction of Bitcoin, as well they should. They have that is skin. That's what we call skin in the game. The man has an incredible amount of skin in this game. Is Bitcoin here to destroy things? Is Bitcoin here to destroy the traditional financial network? Is Bitcoin here to destroy the? I don't think so. I am into creation. I am into compete, not complain. Both can exist. This world, the United States dollar is the most craved currency in every inch of this planet. In the slums of China, where they defecate into the stream, and we all want to be like China, where it's probably half of their population goes into the woods, okay, to defecate, and that's why they force them all to all live in the city. They want dollars. All China and the BRICS is going to take over. They're going to have the best currency, and they're going to have the best fiat, and then everyone's going to realize Bitcoin is the best. No, the BRICS are a bunch of backstabbing liars who will destroy each other in a moment, and the people know it. That evil Robert Mugabe, may God curse his soul. That evil communist Robert Mugabe, every day when he was old and gray and had destroyed his country, he had to wake up every day and look at George Washington every day, because that's all his country defaulted to. They could only use dollar bills still, okay? The United States dollar, we have a maniac as president. We have lunatic as vice president. Still, we can do no wrong. Our culture, our freedom, this is what the people want. This is the marketing. There is marketing behind the United States dollar. Bitcoin ain't going to kill it, okay? China isn't taking over the world. If some of you people believe in the wackiest stuff that's going to travel around the world, she mentioned Argentina and Saylor beforehand. When I was in Argentina and I said, I don't have pesos to pay for this bus ride to the airport, can I just give you dollars? They're like, yes, please give me dollars. Yes. Thank God we don't have to live in such a world in the United States where we don't know another currency. So no, all of these things, the financialization of Bitcoin takes it to a whole new level, okay? Let them make instruments out of it. You don't have to have your money in banks anymore. You don't have to have your money in banks. You don't have to buy stocks. You don't have to buy United States bonds and all this stuff. But plenty of people do it. Tether is boosting up the United States. I love Tether, but it is marketing. They picked the United States dollar. Why did they pick the United States dollar? They keep on buying treasuries. Why do they keep doing this? It strengthens it. It will destroy these third world countries of tyrants like Robert Mugabe. May God curse wherever he's rotting now. I don't know. So there you go. Michael Saylor is a good dude. He's trying to make some money. He's got some new innovative. Let his innovative product fail. I don't care. It almost failed, apparently. I don't know. But dude, I'd rather have him any day of the week than those Bit 110 lunatics, absolute lunatics. So I believe he deserves to have a great, but if you disagree with him, fight him with words. Even if you've invested, just $1,000 in the Bitcoin, you could try your best, but he's going to have a huge say when a man is in that. That's just the reality of the world. When someone has put so much skin in the game, they're going to have a lot of say in how the game freaking goes. So that's enough. I've rambled on. But that it was a good video.
This does remind me of the original boss of Bitcoin, which was always inflation. We always talked about poor countries where you get paid on Friday and you need to put it into Tide Pods or whiskey or something, toilet paper that won't lose its value, because by Monday, the inflation will have eaten part of your paycheck. And as Adam mentioned, Zimbabwe being on the dollar, Venezuela is considering switching to the dollar. That would be a major move if they get rid of the bolivar. And Bitcoin has made no movement against the dollar despite all of our shows and all of our talking. We're still where we are, saying, oh, you should have Bitcoin at the checkout counter, or, oh, you should have Bitcoin at Western Union, or you should be able to use it at the bank, but it's not there. And we talk about other countries, and we talk about, third world Bitcoin or developing world Bitcoin. And maybe Saylor gets it a little bit, but it's always this way with Saylor. It's a bit like the movie Network, where in the second half, he convinces him to sell the idea of the corporations. And that's a bit what Meister was excited about there. He's like, we should financialize the Bitcoin and we should have levels and layers. And I look at it and I just see Satoshi rolling over in his grave. I see him saying, oh, the 2008 mortgage crisis with all the bad mortgages in the boxes marked good mortgages. We're going to do it all over again, but we're going to do it with technology, and we're going to make it even more layered and even more impossible to understand, as much as that was impossible for a normal person to understand. Victoria Jones, do you have more on this? Do you think that Saylor is going to save us?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we need Bitcoin to work as a currency, and probably part of the problem is, the technology is not at the level where it's easy to use for businesses. Ever since I was in Bitcoin, I began as a business owner who wanted to accept Bitcoin in my own business, and I've spent 10 years, working with the technology, trying to introduce my own infrastructure in order to do exactly that. And for a little while, I was able to have Bitcoin payments on my website, but because of the whole BIP 110 thing, I've had to switch off my nodes and not be able to do that anymore. And so, a lot of it's still incredibly hard. I mean, obviously the vision is there, and we're trying to address it. But yes, we're fighting a big battle against different ideologies. Different people have different ideas of what Bitcoin should be. I mean, Satoshi started off wanting it to be a form of digital cash, but we've now got Saylor saying it's not digital cash, it's digital gold. Whereas, gold originally was a currency, and it's only when they took it as a currency out of circulation that the debt was really able to take off, because there was no way of keeping the money accountable in the general economy, because then people didn't have a tangible feel for it. And actually, that's when things really started to skyrocket. And the way in which they measure poverty these days is all based on the dollar, but of course the dollar's being devalued compared to gold. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these narratives are inconsistent, and they contradict each other, and it's really hard to get Bitcoin's narrative on the right path when all of these conflicts exist. I think Saylor has done a disservice to Bitcoin's narrative. I've studied it quite a bit and written about it extensively, and I think I always valued Bitcoin's role as a currency, and I don't appreciate that being taken out of the narrative.
I do think that's a mistake as well. And to go back, there's been all kinds of third-party systems that have been broken by Bitcoin. One of the big ones for me is that BitPay broke all of those payment buttons. Everyone had set up their shop to accept BitPay, and they said, "Oh, you have to update it. You have to change the payment button," and that broke thousands of web pages that would never be repaired. So as well as with Saylor and Sztorc, I feel that at the end of this, we're both going to look at them and we're going to say, these were guys in a big hurry. Sztorc couldn't wait to get drive chains in there. Saylor can't wait to get Bitcoin as a digital gold. If we go on a long enough timeline, I think Bitcoin does become a digital gold, but it still needs to be a currency. And Sztorc with his drive chains might get added to Bitcoin. But we have Adam Meister for more on this. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, one funny thing is Sztorc does not like Saylor at all. And you say Sztorc he's waited a long time. I mean, these things were presented quite a while ago. He's been trying to get this.
He waited more than Vitalik. Compared to a
I mean, yeah,
21-year-old kid, he's showing patience. Yeah. But
well, yeah,
on a cosmic level here, on an academic level, like 5 years, 10 years, like this isn't that long, like
well, 10
academically.
years. No, it is
But
a long time. Tom, it's sad. 10 years is a long time. So many people have died in Bitcoin since then. I mean, people I personally know are dead. I mean, that's a question we have to ask ourselves too, is like, how long do we wait for it to be a digital currency? If it was meant to be a currency, wouldn't Bcash have won? Okay. I mean, Lightning isn't very successful. You know, Paul thinks that it should be a currency, that he thinks his drive chains are an answer to helping make it a currency. So he thinks it's a better option than Lightning Network. Okay, I am not, for me, everyone has a different version of what Bitcoin means to them. And for me, since the very beginning, it was just preservation of wealth, unconfiscatable, and the inflation, it's not inflate, it's going every year, it's getting less and less inflational. And by the way, we are going to run in, we're all going, this, what I've been predicting for years and did not happen. I mean, I knew we were going to have forks again. I thought the next one was going to be a 42 million fork. I mean, and some people have started talking about it. Well, yeah, in order to pay the miners, we need more Bitcoin. We need to change that. So that's a future thing that we're going to argue over. But one of the reasons I got into Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin needs to keep this, is that 21 million hard limit. Because, as much as I scream about the glory of the United States dollar, it's the most glorious by far of all the fiats, but they are unlimited. They are all unlimited. And just that awesome aspect of Bitcoin, that that in 100 years, there's still, that the most that's ever going to be printed is 21. Once you get rid of that certainty of 21 million, I don't know what's going to happen. But let them create a $42 million fork, though. But for me, I have moved away so long ago from worrying about it being an everyday currency. And again, all these years, and we still haven't really gotten a good user interface, easy user interface. I mean, it's sad to say, but with Solana and Ethereum, with MetaMask and Phantom, those are easy. It makes it easier to use them than to use Bitcoin. Yeah, and for small transactions and stuff, it's sad, but whatever. But Bitcoin is not the Lord to me. I mean, I know it's not perfect. So that's why this competition out there, Bitcoin should learn from the competition, whether it be Paul, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be Solana. It can learn, but some things maybe it just wasn't meant to be, because it's so freaking awesome that everybody wants to hoard it. Who's going to spend it, even if it was super duper easy? So, I mean, Victoria, I give you all the credit in the world for trying to have a small business and everything and accept Bitcoin and all of that. And I wish you luck. I see keep on trying. I mean, if you really believe passionately in it, you should keep on trying. All the people out there that are into the Lightning Network or whatever, I don't want you to be destroyed or anything like that. I want you to be successful in whatever success really means in the end of the day. But it's been so many things in Bitcoin that we thought would happen really haven't, and so many things we thought in the world haven't happened. And we just can't wait for them to happen, because life is so short. It's so sad. You start thinking about, I think about it a lot differently, life in general, than I did back in 2013 when I bought my first 2 Bitcoin. So people do remind that whenever you think you're wasting time, think about that, and you'll stop wasting time maybe too. So, all right, that's it. Life lesson.
it has changed. A lot has happened. I think maybe Adam's convinced me. Maybe it's time to go ahead with it. But I still think that eventually it'll be merged back into Bitcoin. It's interesting to see how it's only been like 10 years or so, but Bitcoin's already become this old gray man. He's made out of stone. He moves very slowly. You can't teach him anything. You can't add anything to him. He gets upset at new ideas. And so I can see some of this pushback, and maybe it's time to launch his own coin. Although what we were talking about in the chat just a second ago, he has been obsessed with prediction markets for quite a while. His alias on Twitter is TruthCoin, which to me sounds like a prediction market right there. Ironically, he's already been passed by Kalshi and other companies that are running ahead with prediction markets, not needing their own coin, not needing their own chain, having figured out some way to do it on their own. So that's interesting. And then also going back to Saylor, Once again, I just wish we had Andreas out there talking. I know Andreas doesn't have the money to buy whatever Saylor's bought, 5% of the Bitcoin network or whatever it is. No one has that. But he was a great speaker for Bitcoin. And it's sad to see how he's had to retire now. He's had health problems. He feels unable to do a live stream like this without fear of his health problems showing or something like that. But it's just too bad. And like Adam's saying, I think perhaps as well, that he didn't do more videos when he was young, that he didn't do the Joe Rogan show when he had the chance when he was young. I mean, I get back to the Twilight Zone. There's this horrible, haunting episode where a man waits his whole life and then the world's destroyed and he has food and a library and then he breaks his glasses and he can't read the books of the library that he's waited his whole life to read. And I feel that with Andreas. There was just so much opportunity, so many Joe Rogans, so many media shows he could have gone on. And I know they would have asked him the same question and it's not intellectually interesting for him. And he didn't feel like he was making any ground with the media, so on and so forth. But we could have used him. We could have had his example now to look back on. Instead, we have this large vacuum, this void, and Saylor has the money, Saylor has the communications people, and his message is rising to the top. And even though I didn't want to talk about him again, he came out with this great religious article and the Reformation and throwing out the old Bitcoin priests and all this stuff. And of course, here we are. We had to talk about him. So whatever it is, it worked again. He broke through even the Bitcoin group. Moving on to issue 4. Bitcoin gains regulatory ground as crypto rules remain unsettled for Clarity Act. We've talked about the Clarity Act a lot, and I think this might be the last time until it is eventually killed. We're into the final stretch here in August with the American election, the midterms in November. It's very unlikely the Clarity Act gets picked up before then. The Clarity Act has been twisted and strange, and it doesn't even protect stablecoin interest anymore. It seems mainly to be an on-ramp for banks to enter Bitcoin, which of course means tons more money and investment for Bitcoin, but also more control and more banks. Adam Meister, what do you think about the Clarity Act? We've talked about it many times. Hopefully this will be the penultimate time. Meister is
yes, sorry.
The only thing that can stop Meister is the mute button.
No, okay. I know. I've lost track of it all. I mean, it keeps on morphing behind the scenes to make sure that Trump's friends are included in it and that they're going to get some benefit, and this little group's going to get some benefit, and that group's going to get some benefit. I understand that the big money needs to see something that says, this is regulatory kosher. So let's just get that. And then the Bitcoin price can go up again. It seems like the market cares about just having the seal of approval from the American regulators that probably some future president can change or something. I mean, it'd be great if, we'll see how it goes. I would like clarity on the clarity. Just get something done that just eases people. It's not going to be the end of the world if it doesn't get approved or doesn't come through in the end. The bureaucracy wins in the end. And Bitcoin price won't go up. It'll go down for a while, but it'll just be another bump in the road. We've seen it. We've seen many a bump in the road. But yeah, I think something is going to come about of it that will give some people a good regulatory warm feeling so they can sleep better at night and spend billions on their financialized Bitcoin new products and know that they won't go to jail. It's sad. Like what I don't like is that in the times where things haven't been clear, that some people cut back on possible financial innovation, but they're scared they're going to go to jail because we've had selective enforcement in the past. I don't like selective, in order to say we have a new regulation, we're going to arrest this person and say that, it was illegal. You shouldn't have done that, even though it wasn't specifically illegal. So that's going to be one of the nice things. There'll be like a clear red line not to cross on certain things that they will agree on. Like stable coins and the interest from them, it seems like a big deal. to some of these people and let them get that clarified. If you're just a strict Bitcoin holder here in all this, the only thing you really care about is if, okay, they'll get something done and then the price of Bitcoin will go up. I don't think it really deals that much with Bitcoin per se. I think it seems to be with more complex financial products built around cryptocurrency and stable coins, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my thought.
Well, the current spread on stablecoin interest is around 3 to 4%, and your savings account is around 0.3%. So the banks are naturally worried if you hear of another product that's 100 times better, that everyone's going to run all their money out of savings accounts into these stablecoins. Huge money for Coinbase, right? Brian Armstrong waving the flag. That's what's important to him. On the other side, obviously, the banks could just offer the same service, right? They could offer stablecoin bank accounts. It would take them a little while to set it up. I don't know why they don't. That's competition, right? Go ahead, Adam. More on this.
I wanted to point out something you just said. You said that stable coins are 100 times better than banks. You said that, correct? I agree with that.
There are a couple of high interest savings accounts, American Express, Apple Card. You can get 3%. But some stable coins are maybe 5, 7%. I mean, these are incredible interest numbers, usually reserved for stocks or supercharged bonds or something.
And the other, you could send it anywhere in the world. It could be, you don't have to wait till the weekend's over, clearance and all that. Like the other day, there was some official, the head of the SEC? He was talking about how proud he was that they have 1 day clearance now, that we've gotten so many financial instruments are down to just, you only have to wait 1 day until you know you have it. It used to be 3 or 5 days or what, with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's 2 seconds or whatever it is. It's very quick. Until finality, whatever you want to call it. But Thomas and I, we've been, and I agree with what Thomas said, that stable coins are it's more than 100 times better than a bank in so many ways. Okay. Thomas and I have been around this space since, like, some of the people that are big talkers in the space were little children. Okay. In 2013, if you were 26, if you're 26 now, you were having your bar mitzvah back then. Okay. So we've been around since your bar mitzvah, and we are hardcore Bitcoin people, okay? We have played with stable coins. It's not against, you're not going to get struck by a lightning if you touch stable coins or say something good about them. And like, maybe that's, since everybody hates banks so much, like that's maybe your first step. Like, I'm going to try stable coins so I can see if they really are better than banks, because I hate that. Because dude, the stable coin thing is really huge. That is something that is, sadly, it's the killer app that's come out of the Bitcoin revolution. It really is. It really is. So I just wanted to point out what Thomas said, and I'm not trying to. I'm agreeing with Thomas 100%. I just wanted to point that out there. So yeah, but Clarity really does deal a lot with it because it is super important. The banks do want to have banks will start competing with Tether soon enough. They're going to have their own. It's going to be, but may the best one win, because you know what? All the FUD that Jason on All In likes to say about Tether every single time, because his friend owns USDC, the people of the world have spoken. They still prefer Tether to USDC. So we'll see what USD BOA and USD, some other Citibank, how they deal. I think people might still prefer Tether. So we'll see. That'll be a really interesting battle. But yeah, we need clarity before that can even happen.
Well, and remember that Tether is what they can regulate. They can't regulate Bitcoin. They can regulate Tether because Tether's tied into bank accounts, they're tied into stocks, they're tied into bonds, and all of those things could be regulatory frozen, right? You can't regulatory freeze Bitcoin. And that's been this whole thing. Going back to the Clarity Act, I've said this from the beginning, the right-wing Bitcoiners who made these deals with the politicians, I don't think they're going to get what they thought they were going to get. I think they made the deal with bad politicians who are essentially bad people, and they're going to take for themselves. I mean, they came up to Trump and they said, this Bitcoin is the greatest thing in the world. And he said, I'll make my own coin. Nobody saw that coming except everybody who had studied Trump before, right? It was really obvious. Anything you bring to him, he'll copy and call it his own. If you look at that, it's created a political situation where the Democrats now have to say, you can't have your own coin if you're president. You can't have your own coin if you're a senator, right? There have to be some kind of regulations, which now it's not just a common sense issue. It's a political issue because one side has their own coin. So therefore the other side is anti-coin. This has destroyed the entire process. They can't get any Democrats to sign on this. Crypto is seen as a right-wing issue. I think they've set us back 5 to 10 years. And again, it's because he made his own coin, which nobody saw coming except everybody. Victoria Jones, what do you think about the Clarity Act and all the excitement in the United States over potential crypto regulation?
Yeah, well, of course, with interest on stablecoins, with them being so much higher, typically you get paid higher interest when you're taking greater risk. So, of course, at the moment with the stablecoins, compared to the traditional financial system, you're taking greater risk. So I suspect once they get the stable coins approved through the Clarity Act, all of that lovely interest will probably go away because then it'll be seen as a more secure option. So they don't have to pay you such high interest rates anymore. But in the past, when I've talked about the Clarity Act, I have kind of pointed out that it's especially when it comes to Bitcoin, it's a bit nonsensical, really, because all the rules of Bitcoin are kind of programmed into the software, whereas the rules of the fiat system are programmed by the government. And so you've got a real clash of interests here. It doesn't really matter. Well, to a certain extent, it matters what legislation you put in place because the banks want to be able to use Bitcoin, but it operates on a completely different premise. Fundamental Bitcoin operates on a completely different premise to the financial system. So, it's like an immovable object meets an immovable force, where the immovable force is slightly more powerful than the immovable object, and eventually the immovable force is going to win. So it's like moving deck chairs on the Titanic, really. I think if Bitcoin manages to maintain its integrity, then it's destined to disrupt the financial system, but so much could happen in the meantime.
It is sad that after all this, we want a Bitcoin Act. We want a Bitcoin Act. The Bitcoiners really on the side saying this doesn't matter. The only thing that matters here is that potentially large amounts of bank money could enter after they feel comfortable from the Clarity Act, which we've already seen is not necessarily good. The bank money has sold against us for the last 10 months. Now they've changed their mind, and now the price is going back up. So maybe it's not so great to have all this bank money. Maybe we don't need any more, but we're going to find out. Moving on to the exit question. The Clarity Act, is it dead? Yes or no? Adam Meister.
No, it's not dead. And Victoria Jones said that immovable object versus, was that the tagline for Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3? The immovable object versus the immovable force or something. I don't know. It sounds very familiar.
I think it's like the third law of thermodynamics or something. But yeah, it's probably also the tagline for the wrestling match. Yes.
Yeah, right. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. It might have been Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan. Who knows?
So something like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Victoria Jones, is the Clarity Act dead or alive?
Oh, I don't know. It's struggling a bit. So I'd say it's probably at 98% dead, maybe.
Let's see. I would say dead. Dead. It's dead. It's been dead. It's been dead the whole time. We were also supposed to get this bump when Trump came into office. Never happened. Price never went up. Crypto president never went up. I wonder why. Got to make deals with better people. Moving on to the best part of the show. This is from Christian Moss at Mandel Duck on Twitter. I'm not sure if he made it or if someone else made it. As you guys know, this is AI, so it's probably bad for copyrights and all those things, but I want to play it for you because it's just so awesome. It says here, the whale pass. George explains to Jerry why Bitcoin is the people's money. Decentralized, equal, no hierarchy, no elites.
Bitcoin is the people's money, Jerry. Decentralized, no hierarchy, no elites. Everyone's equal.
Whale pass only.
I've got general admission.
Sorry. Conference has got to make money.
Bitcoin.
This is so funny because I felt exactly like this at the conferences. I feel like, yeah, I'm a Bitcoiner. I've been, working hard in this space for a long time, telling people about it, all these things. And they're like, no, you're not on the whale pass list. But isn't it stunning? The background looks like Bitcoin, all these things. We have one more of these, but I thought we'd discuss them individually. Adam Meister, what do you think about this first one? A little joke about a Bitcoin conference there.
Well, I'm just so impressed by the AI and this time that we're living in, that you can make it so Seinfeldian, like it was real. And yeah, it's a shot at the Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin magazine guys and everything like that. And they got to make their money somehow, with the whale pass and all
That's
that
what I
stuff.
thought was so great. Like, not only is it look perfect and the voice and the look, Jerry says what I would say. He's like, the conference has got to make money. We shrug our shoulders, we accept it, it's fine. But it's just a perfect joke. It's done so well all the way, all around.
I want to know if Victoria, well, she'll say this. Are you a Seinfeld fan, or it didn't take England the same way as it did the United States, obviously. But do you ever watch it, or is this just like nonsense to you?
Oh, we get all the American programs over here, but no, I've not particularly watched that one. But I can appreciate the clip. I can see where it comes, see the environment it comes from. Yeah.
And what do you think? Is it topical and amazing, and just the quality? I mean, it looks so real, right?
Yeah. I mean, very impressive, and obviously, the quote is so apt. It really gets the point across. And it's a tricky one, really. I remember a long time ago listening to a Bitcoin, just some kind of business conference, and someone was pointing out that if you took all the wealth in the world and distributed it evenly between every single individual, eventually what would happen is you would naturally get that divide, because some people are just more productive than others. And so, you're naturally going to have those that manage to produce goods and services that provide value for everyone else, whereas there are other people who aren't going to put in the same kind of effort. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get away with that, but I think really what we're arguing for in Bitcoin is fairness in the system. And the problem with the fiat system is there's been a lot of corruption and a lot of unfairness in the way in which the fiat money has been structured, and Bitcoin gives us a chance to fix that. So that was always what appealed to me about it. So I wouldn't necessarily criticize a Bitcoin conference from offering whale passes. If people value that kind of service enough and they're prepared to pay for it, then, and they can get people to pay for it, then good for them. But I don't think decentralization in Bitcoin necessarily means that everybody's going to have equal wealth. It doesn't work like that.
I think it's also shown the evolution of Bitcoin conferences. When you used to go, you were maybe looking for a new idea or a new technology. And for that, you would want the room to be flat. You would want to talk to the speakers. Now, I feel that people are attending these conferences looking for investment from large investors. And you're not going to get that on the normal floor. You're going to need a special whale room. You're going to have to give them free food, give them free champagne, whatever you got to do to make the deal, right? Because it's not about technology or me talking to a fellow nerd on the floor and getting our ideas together. It seems a lot more about money. Let's check out the second Seinfeld clip. And again, I'm sure there's going to be thousands of these, but they're interesting right now because they're brand new, and just how incredible the AI technology is. Here it is. And again, I'm not sure who made this, but it's at Mandelduck on Twitter. It's called the Mempool Nazi.
I don't get NFTs. Why put JPEGs on Bitcoin?
Because apparently money wasn't controversial enough.
NFTs? No mempool for you! I didn't even broadcast anything. I don't get NFTs.
Again, just hilarious. Like the idea that, I mean, again, the Seinfeld line is so funny. He's like, money wasn't controversial enough. And it's just delivered so perfectly. I don't know how they do this, computer magic, the AI thing. Let's go again. Adam Meister, what do you think? They poke a little fun at NFTs in the second clip. What do you think?
Well, I think that way of presenting the NFTs And what else are they going to use Bitcoin for? Maybe that's what the Bit 110 people should have tried to do, something funny like that and something friendly like that harkened back to a different day in America, in our culture, where, in 1998 something could be that overwhelming that everybody knew, so many people knew Seinfeld. I don't think we live in the United States has changed. I mean, this is a completely different. We've changed a lot since then. I don't think there'll be anything as culturally significant as Seinfeld again. It just it seems like we were in again. It was still a tremendous country. I think we had 300 million. Well, we had less, probably a little less then. But in a country of 330 million people, and with such technology that we have now, there's going to be nothing like that ever again. And it's unfortunate. It's like now the only thing that comes close to that, it's so disgusting, is politics. Oh God. So America, I'd rather have Seinfeld any day than have this mess of a freak show we've seen in politics driving American culture. So but yeah, the AI is beautiful, and good luck to all the other AI dudes that try to bring back some memories of old. Soon they're going to be new Beatles songs. I'll just leave you with that. That is really strange.
Well, Seinfeld was the ultimate water cooler show. You'd gather around the water cooler at work and you'd all talk about the funny joke you heard last night or the contest or whatever they were up to on that great show. And I agree with Adam. I don't think it's ever going to be there again. We were so united as a culture. There was these shows that would have incredible reach. And I can't imagine a show having that reach again. It does seem like, yes, like Adam said, politics really is our new national soap opera. And it's interesting to see, you watch the right-wing guys on YouTube or you watch the left-wing guys on YouTube. Everyone's in their own little ecosystem. We're not even watching the same politics. We don't even really agree of the facts of what's going on. Victoria, what do you think about the second clip? It's got some NFTs, a little, it does have BIP 110 in there, Adam. The soup Nazi type character is wearing a hat that says BIP 110. He says, "No blockchain for you." Again, just very funny, very well presented, and there'll be thousands more of these. So they're entertaining now, but we'll get tired of them quick, I'm sure. But what do you think, Victoria?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I actually know Chris Moss. We had a Bitcoin conference here in Nottingham, actually, and it was at a football club, and he managed to set up a scoreboard with all the players, and people could vote using the Lightning Network. So he's very clever. So if anyone knows how to manipulate the AI, it doesn't surprise me at all that it's him. But yeah, very clever clips.
Well, I think that's about it for this show. We're going to go to predictions or story of the week. Adam Meister, what's been going on? Been a while since we've seen you around here. What have you been up to with the story of the week?
Well, I'm just trying to promote the Mountain West region of the United States of America. You get a lot. Salt Lake City is the best big city in the United States of America. It's so peaceful. People complaining about New York and LA, and there's plenty to complain about. The West Coast, East Coast, they got to check out the Mountain West. So I love it. I was recently in Winnipeg, Canada. My first time outside the United States since 2019, since all the craziness happened. So it was good to leave America again real quick. There's no USA hate up there, by the way. Like you don't encounter anything. You would think from what you see on the news that they're going to burn you at the stake or whatever. Americans are no, their currency isn't doing too well. They're getting hit by inflation way worse than we are in Canada. And I just want to say, like, I really enjoyed that. God, it's been so long, to be on the show again and see Thomas and, we've been in this game so darn long there, and the conviction. And so guys, follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. I make a video every once in a while on my YouTube channel, but Twitter, I'm there every day. And I really do like that. We're going to get free coins. And by the way, with Paul's Ecash, I don't, let him try to experiment, but yeah, I'm selling. I mean, I want to get more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin, but I still say compete, don't complain. So let them give their fake Bitcoins to us via Bitcoin. So everybody's a winner. No destruction. That's what I leave you with. And pound that like button, people. See ya.
That's right. Pound that like button. Victoria Jones, prediction or story of the week. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've not heard pound that like button for several years. That definitely brings back memories. Watching you long ago. Yeah, so my news of the week is that, my news, I used to produce newsletters on my website, and I've kind of, it all went on hiatus last year with the Core 30 fiasco. But I'm finally back on track. I've finally produced another one, and I'm going to be trying to do them more regularly. But I think what I've decided to do is, I was looking at the history of money, but I've decided to kind of like broaden my scope now, and I'm going to be going back and looking through history and looking at how rules have been built and put together in the past, and go back to first principles on how decentralization works and see where it's taking Bitcoin, because I think all the dramas over the last year has really shifted my thinking, and so I've decided to start writing about it again. So yeah, you can find all of those on satoshispage.com.
Can I add something? I think Victoria has been so polite and such a contrast to me. I'm this bombastic, screaming American, and she is this formal, polite British woman. It was a really nice panel, and it's really nice to meet you in person. And you are a great co-panelist, and it would be a pleasure to be on the panel with you again, so everyone can see how different people can be in Bitcoin. You could be loud, bombastic, screaming, but you can also make your points in a polite, nice, calm manner. So it's very nice to meet you. And Thomas, very good combination today.
Oh,
Thank you,
very
Adam.
nice.
I really appreciate that. It's really sweet.
Very kind, Adam. Thank you so much. And I don't have that much to say. Story of the week. I've been mainly staying inside. It's really hot here in Las Vegas, like 110, 115, 35, maybe 40 on the other system. So I've been watching lots of TV. I've been checking out Jet Lag on YouTube. I don't know if you guys watch that show. It's a great travel show. These guys play like a hide and seek, like they're playing it in England right now, and they're chasing them all over, and where can they be? And they're going to a lot of train stations, and every once in a while you get to say, oh, I've been in that train station, or I've been in that one. So that's pretty fun. I also have been catching up on Rick and Morty. Still a great show, even with the new guy's voice. I don't care. And then I'm watching Strange New Worlds. Star Trek. It started out, season 3 was really awesome. It ended really lousy, and then I'm on season 4 now. It's pretty wild stuff. They're doing like horror episodes. They did a Jurassic Park episode, and then I know they're gonna do a puppet show, and I'm gonna get really mad like the rest of the internet and shake my fist at this new creative Star Trek. But as sad as it is that they're being so creative and story of the week and it's all random and crazy, there really is no other Star Trek. It's down to the point where if I finish Strange New Worlds, I might have to watch Starfleet Academy, even though everyone hates it. Then I might have to watch, I don't know, the second season of Picard and the third season of Discovery and really round it out, because even though it's the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, they're not producing any new shows or any new movies, even though Paramount has its own network and they could make whatever they want. So not sure why that's happening. Hope they fix that soon. Let me know if the comments if you're going to check out Star Trek, Rick and Morty, or Jet Lag. You got to watch Jet Lag. They're independent YouTubers. They're very popular, not like us, but they're very fun. They travel around. So check it out. But thanks to everybody for joining us. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And we're out of time. Until next time, bye-bye.